Hey guys, it's me Dax coming to you live from Pismo, which is on the Californian coast, about 2 hours drive north of Malibu, where I'm just taking a day or two to kind of recharge my batteries after a bit of driving, a bit of traveling, a little bit of kind of city walking and all that kind of stuff through San Francisco. But I'm picking up on a question/comment in the tribe from John McKay, who was talking about the distinction between being a coach and being a mentor, and the idea that kind of you can't coach people in things that you yourself have not shown amazing aptitude, skill and success in. Okay, so it's a really interesting aspect of the whole kind of coaching mentoring matrix that I really enjoy talking about, right? So here's how I kind of lay out the distinction between a coach and a mentor. Okay, a coach is actually, let me start with mentor. Okay, so a mentor is like a bus driver, you could say. Okay, so they have a certain route that they're going to take, route if you're American. Okay, they've got a certain route that they're about to take. They know that route very well. They know all the turnoffs, they know all the directions, they know kind of what lane to get in and all that kind of stuff, and they know all the stops along the way, and they know it off by heart. Pretty much because they've driven that route 1,000 times and they know exactly what they've got to do to get there. Okay, so if you're looking for a kind of a blueprint type of approach to something, as in I just want to be taken from A to B in kind of, you know, the most effortless way possible, then mentoring is brilliant. You just jump on the coach, or you jump on the bus, and you get taken to your destination. Okay, so it's awesome. Like, mentoring can be really awesome, can be really powerful. But along the way, a lot of people lose themselves in mentoring programs because they end up becoming clones of their mentor. They end up taking aspects of a journey that they never really agreed to take on. Very often have to take on kind of the mentor's worldview. Like, if you're serious about X, Y, and Z, then you've got to do A, B, and C kind of thing, right? So there are kind of the pros and cons to mentoring, just like there is with everything, really. A coach, what's the difference between a coach? I would say a coach is a bit more like a limo driver. Okay, so you jump into the limo, and this is your vehicle. For all intents and purposes, the vehicle is going to where you say you want it to go. You jump into the vehicle and you start out the journey by telling the driver where you want to end up, and the driver 9 times out of 10 picks the best route. But along the way, you notice that there's traffic and you notice that you're not having an awesome experience. So you say, hey, could you turn down the back streets and cut off through? You can't do that when you're on the bus, right? When you're taking the mentor's journey, you're taking the mentor's route, and everything that the mentor has said has to be done along that journey is being done in their way. When you're being coached, you can direct the experience to your desires, right? You can create the experience after your own fashion. So you can say, do you know what, I'm not really enjoying this, or this is going too fast for me, or this is going too slow for me, or I don't like these bits, or these bits are pushing me into threat. Can we take a back street? Can we go a different way? You can also kind of you can stop off when you want. You can kind of take any part of an aspect of the journey that you really feel like taking. Okay, I personally prefer, for most things, the coaching route, which is why I've chosen to be a coach. In the past, I've been a mentor and I've guided people on my journey, and sometimes it's still really useful. Like, if there are blueprinted aspects, like this is how to write a Facebook ad, boom, do this, it can be really useful. But you have to be careful not to give over your life to mentors. Now, to the second part of the question, do you have to be successful at something in order to coach someone? No. You have to be successful in something in order to mentor someone. Okay? Because mentoring by default is saying, hey, jump on my bus and I will take you from here to there. And it's pretty much my responsibility to make sure that the right things happen in the right sequence for you. That's mentoring. You don't have to be successful in something in order to be a great coach, because a coach is about extraction, not instruction. So there's another big distinction for you. Mentoring is about instruction. Here are some things to do. Coaching is about extraction. Okay, where do you want to go? How do you want to feel while you're going there? What kind of experience do you want to have on the way to there? Why is this important for you? Okay, Coaching is a very, very different experience. Extraction versus instruction. If you're going to instruct other people what to do, then yes, you need some success in that area, and yes, you need to have you need to kind of have your shit together in order to take the person on that journey. It just makes sense. If we're talking about coaching, if we're talking about extraction, no, you don't need to be an expert in anything other than listening, exploring, guiding, challenging, okay, in the right places. But ultimately, a coach is an expert in communication, okay, an expert in listening to other people before feeding back to them. A mentor is someone who has the expertise to decide on the route for the client. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Really love to hear your feedback on that, kind of whether you agree with that, whether you disagree with that. I know for a lot of people it's quite a large bone of contention between people, this idea that you have to be an expert. But I can tell you, I've coached pretty much, I've coached royalty and I'm not royal. I've coached CEOs of Fortune 500 companies and I'm not a CEO. I've coached billionaires and I'm not a billionaire. I've coached rock stars and I'm not a rock star. Okay, and yet I've had a major definite impact on the lives of all those people. Okay, if I were mentoring them, I would have struggled, but in coaching them, no, I've made a big impact. Okay, so this has been me, Dax Moy, from Pismo Beach. Take care. Pismo Beach even. Take care. Bye.